Hey guys, welcome back. Diving into Reddit to talk about Comcast, formerly Comcast Xfinity. They changed their name. Still the same company, but looking into some of their reviews, I know that most people that have lived in town, a lot of them have used Comcast at one point in time or another. For me, it's always been good once it's installed, but if there's an issue or the actual installation or setting up in a new home is always something that has been really frustrating, which is what I am seeing here on this Reddit. Worst customer service ever jumped out at me, so I wanted to dig into this. One thing that was refreshing from a customer success side here is that Xfinity actually replied to this Reddit thread. If you can see here, official reply. So they're actually trying to follow up with the discontent and try to be proactive in communication to solve these issues, which was refreshing to me. I've looked at quite a few Reddits here, and that isn't always the case. So I was looking here, 10-year Xfinity customer, ongoing issue with internet lagging or buffering. It says tech replaced modem and line incoming from utility pole. So they did a bunch of things here. And he said, he comes to the house, doesn't get out of the truck. So I go to speak with him and he tells me the ticket was open to check the connection of the new line and only allowing him 10 minutes there. So that's frustrating. You see somebody and they're like, hey, I'm only going to be here for a second. And then told him to call customer service. So it's interesting that they sent somebody out to take a peek, but actually didn't have that person who was on site and an expert adjust the ticket for the client. The client is then expected to go back to the beginning and open a new ticket. So maybe this is the second or even more tickets than the second ticket to try to get this issue fixed. What would make more sense from a customer service perspective and customer success perspective is to actually have your team be taking that obstacle out of the process to minimize friction in getting the item taken care of, and also to create continuity in you have one ticket, they came out, this didn't work. A response or an adjustment to that original ticket that says the next step and the next step and the next step. So you actually have a story of what's going on instead of a million individual tickets. If there was a thread of ticket escalation on the original ticket, it would be much easier to escalate that ticket to a higher priority because you can see there's an ongoing issue. From a customer success perspective and from an inbound ticket perspective of managing this, you'd end up getting better service delivered to your customer. You'd get the customer to get to the end result quicker. You'd be able to handle these issues better. So that would be my first tweak, is changing the training and SOPs around standard operating procedures around how somebody is coming out to fix something and then the next steps. So it said they had to call customer service again. Finally spoke to somebody after going through, dial the little monkey face to talk to a real person. You're like, there is no monkey face button. Everybody hates going through the phone system to do that. It's always nice to talk to a real person. So they have a damage complaint ticket that they open, not a trouble ticket. And then they get an email asking for documentation. So then they have another hoop to jump where they have to provide imagery of what's happening, where the tech was just out there and could have taken a picture and added it to the file and taken that obstacle, that friction out of the whole process. Again, if they were there for 10 minutes, how long does it take to add a picture to a file if they get out of their truck? So look, and then he was disconnected. Oh my gosh, what a mess. But you can see down here, we have, it says, hi there, thank you very much for using Reddit and allowing Xfinity customer support team to chance to help you with your connection issues. We understand how important this is, blah, blah, blah. Send me a mod mail message with your name and address. So they eventually did reach out. So that was 3 days ago, this one, 3 days ago for that. So they actually did the same day following up on this, which is actually pretty awesome that they were quick at getting back to them. The person said that they sent that requested follow-up, and everybody else is really saying that I feel your frustration. Try again and ask for a supervisor. People are trying to tell them to escalate the ticket. Really, if you're at a point for customer success where you're trying to finagle a ticket escalation to get help with a service that you're paying for, I think you've really already lost the battle. It shouldn't require that if you have the right training and practices in place to receive a complaint, know what to do with it, escalate it where possible, and then make sure that everybody who touches something is updating that thread, making sure that the tech who came out actually looks at something, takes a picture, escalates the ticket, creates a better customer experience that, hey, I actually care about fixing your problem versus, sorry, not my problem. You have to call customer success again. You have to call customer service or help desk or however they term their department. But it's really interesting to see how some companies, the disorganization in training or how they're supposed to handle something can really affect the sentiment of clients. So really, this is about the team itself being more collaborative on the Comcast Xfinity side. They're not becoming a trusted advisor. They're making you work against the system to try to get what should already be taken care of in your pricing of paying for a service done. There's not much proactive communication aside from actually following up on the Reddit thread. Proactive communication is really important to get to customer success. I like that they reached out here, but there's not proactive communication with the real people that this person is actually interacting with. So they could really do better about their ticket management and how people are documenting their touches on the client. So you can actually see the full story instead of a bunch of disconnected tickets. I think they'd get a better idea of where the problems are and where they could fix training and standard responses to minimize, because if the first guy that went out would have adjusted the ticket, added a picture, you would have skipped somebody needing to respond to Reddit. You would have skipped the additional phone calls into the system. If you already have an overloaded system that people are having trouble getting a hold of you, you don't want them to have to call 4 and 5 and 6 times. If they get it taken care of on the first call, you've already decreased the volume of people calling in because you took care of it the first time and not the 6th time. So that would be how I would streamline this issue if I was working for Comcast in a customer success capacity. So more diving into complaints and Reddit to see how we could fix or adjust problems in customer success next time. Thanks for joining me.